Some guys from those Metalhead and doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year, and actually, this one has a classic label on Album of the Year, which most underground Rage albums and stuff like that don't have that, because they don't hit like the 80s. There's like enough people that don't vibe with Rage that it always gets like 77, 76. Like I think even Whole Lot of Red has 75, which by the way, Whole Lot of Red reaction was a first time reaction on my Patreon, and it's going to be uploaded to YouTube too soon. But yeah, this has a classic label on that website, which is really cool. I've also been getting this recommended a lot in the comments. This one mixed with Pretty Fun, mixed with Say So, Says, and Blood 50, Rascal 51, a bunch of other projects. All the ones from 2025 I plan to react to every single day until the end of the year, because I want to do my 2025 best albums list. And you guys are putting me onto some really cool shit, really interesting like new modern music that like a Rage feels like completely new genre. And also on top of that, you guys have been giving absolute insane support. Like it took me 3 months to 3 to 4 months of regular uploads to get to 1,000 subs, and you guys are giving me like 250 subs in 2 days. So yeah, I'm going to be reacting to more of this underground Rage stuff, especially because I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. I had no idea how this album is going to sound, but because Rage seems to have so many different styles, like Habits off of Osa Mason sounds completely different to Shay, which sounds completely different to like Rage adjacent music like Jane Remover. So yeah, I'm curious to delve into this one, and yeah, let's go. Is this sampling Green Day? It feels like it's sampling Holiday from Green Day. Ooh. This is such an interesting vibe of it. This is so interesting and just completely different from like the other Rage music, right? And it makes me realize now there's actually a much broader version of like, I guess like Rage is like a complete genre. It's kind of like how trap has so many different things to it. It's like a psychedelic trap kind of sounds different to like NBA Youngboy, that sort of thing, right? Like Travis Scott sounds different to NBA Youngboy. And it is broadening my horizons. It feels like there are a lot of artists that are like pushing the envelope when it comes to certain different things. Like when we have like, the reason that Jane Remover doesn't feel like Rage to me is because when I think of Rage, I think of like mainly like Lil Uzi Vert offshoots, and most of the Lil Uzi Vert offshoots are like Cardi ended up inspiring and stuff like that too, like Shay and stuff like that. And when I'm getting like Slayer, right, that kind of just doesn't sound like that to me. Like Rage, it feels like this, Slayer, all of that, they borrow so much more from like 2000s electronic, like MySpace scene of like just meme fucking culture that came from like MySpace, like crunkcore and shit like that. It feels like it borrows more from that, and that's the reason why like also Jane River feels like it can be like doesn't fit the same molds, because it feels like it like takes from the grab bag of like 2000s like kind of me like the start of like meme music shit from back there, and like especially the more melodic stuff, like because it's like Rage music when it comes to like less so Cardi, I think, like, but like Osa Mason and stuff like that. Just in general, there seems to be like an angst behind it, where Slayer didn't feel like that. So it felt like incredibly more melodic. This feels more melodic. This feels like it's taking more from the MySpace era than even Slayer did. But it's just really interesting ways of like grab bagging influences from different areas and being able to implement it in the rage genre. It feels like I keep saying it in every single reaction, but it really does feel like a completely new genre being formed, which is really cool. Like, because obviously I've never seen that, right? Like, there's emo rap, but like, let's be real, that's just trap mixed with some fucking emo shit. Like, a lot of the time it's not that inventive, it's kind of just melding two genres. But this one feels like it kind of bears itself out a bit different. Like, I guess like the difference between like grunge coming from the noise rock and indie rock scene of like Pixies and stuff like that. It's like that feels a bit different. Granted, I even think this is more like I even think like grunge is more derivative of like Pixies than this is derivative of like the 2000s like MySpace shit. It's just really interesting. Like just a completely new form. I think this is quite good. I will have to wait to re-listen to this. Because if you're new to watching me, I do ratings on the side. These are my first time listens. You can see my ratings. So you can basically see what I feel like on each track as I'm listening to it. But these aren't my final scores. I listen to these projects multiple times over in the day after this recording. And I post them onto my album of the year, where you can get written reviews, which are basically my thoughts condensed down. You can go to my Discord, where I just post the ratings, but there's a chat box there, obviously. It's Discord, so you can chat to me about it. I'm always active on my Discord. And then on my TikTok, I will be posting all of these. I'm kind of being lazy on TikTok at the moment, but on TikTok, I usually just post my reviews, and TikTok's really good for finding new audiences and stuff, so I usually do it there. It's with like cute graphic and stuff like that. But this track so far, I feel like I would have to re-listen to it. I'm kind of question mark. But I would say at bare minimum, it's a 7. It's good. My average rating is a 6. And that's only because I think I listen to more good music than bad. Because I feel like 5 is okay, 6 is decent, 7 good, 8 great, 9 amazing, 10 perfect. And I try to strictly adhere to like that. Do I really think this is a good song, or do I really think this is a decent song? And try to adhere to that. This is a good song. I can already tell. I think on re-listens, I might even bump it up even higher. So yeah. I would even say like it's good to great right now. So it even could bump up quite a bit more. Oh, like a G6 is a good example of like 2010, like early 2010 tracks. Ooh. Ooh. This definitely does remind me more of Jane Remover. Like, Slayer had a tiny bit of that, but like I feel like this is like in between Slayer, Jane Remover, this live. I like the vocals a lot. It's interesting how like more buried the vocals are in the mix, despite it being like a melodic thing. That's like something I would expect from like more typical Rage. It's still very production heavy, despite the fact of having like a more melodic vocal. It's cool. It's like interesting. Yeah, honestly, I'm listening to this just because it broadens my concept of like what Rage can be, leads me to thinking more macro instead of actually still talking about the project a bit more. As much as like I absolutely really love this song, this is really good. Thinking about it more broadly, it's really interesting because like obviously autotune exists, only was invented in '97, and this feels like, and then you had like the first people that made that music with autotune, like 2000s, which is like T-Pain and like Kanye, and then like that's just like a decade later, and then there were like 3 decades into this, and it kind of reminds me of like rock music, right? Kind of started in like the 40s, 50s, Chuck Berry, that sort of stuff, and it wasn't until you saw like the 70s where you started seeing like Led Zeppelin and you started seeing Black Sabbath, and it feels like there's a very similar thing where it's like when it comes to autotune and like digitized music and all of that sort of stuff. You had that in like the 97 onwards, because the like trendsetters at that point were like fucking Aphex Twin, where it's spending like 70 billion hours on each single note. But like now that we're 30 years into having this technology, having all of these programs and that sort of thing, you're kind of seeing like the explosion of the genre and the explosion of the creativity that can stem from that. The same way that when we saw like the first parts of like rock, 30 years later. After that, you had Led Zeppelins and shit like that, where it has this more like maximalist approach, because we didn't know what the maximalist aspect of this genre was. It's a new piece of technology. We didn't really know. But now we do, and I feel like Rage is a offset of that. Like we had rock in the 40s, 50s, and then metal kind of came out in the late 60s and early 70s. And it feels like this is a very similar trend of that. It's like you kind of just have, at the start, a bit of auto-tune, and then you turn that auto-tune into trap, and then the trap turned into like what Rage, which is what I would consider like the metal version of the auto-tune genres and stuff like that. It's really cool because it's weird. Like when I'm thinking back, I don't know if you guys would feel this. When I'm thinking back, I never would think I would be at like the forefront where I'm seeing new genres. For whatever reason, close-minded or whatever, it's like, oh, we created these evergreen genres, that's all it's gonna be, and we're doing offshoots of that forever. But it's like, no, now with like digitized shit, we are seeing just completely new genres like Rage. Like you show this to someone in like the 50s, they thought Black Sabbath was satanic. They would start like actually exercising you and stabbing you like a demon. Like it, yeah, this is a completely out there, like you could never even conceive of something like this existing like 50 years ago, right? Especially with this type of sound, the electronic-ish sort of sound of it, everything like that. Yeah, just great. It's really interesting. It's being at like the forefront of that, especially because it's like just underground now. So it's like, imagine how like the people in 1989 Seattle felt when they started hearing fucking when they started hearing like Nirvana for the first time, or started hearing Korn for the first time and stuff like that. You like these bursts of new genres, and we're kind of just at the forefront of that now. And as I said in the last video with Slayer, I'm incredibly grateful that you guys somehow got me into this. Like, I did it, the closest I had to that was like emo trap and emo rap with like Juice WRLD and stuff like that. All of them died, so it kind of just fucking died with it. But I felt that when I was like 15 and finding them for the first time in like 2016, 2017. I had that, and I feel really blessed that now I'm like 24, that you guys are bringing me along to your version of that experience. I love it. Pretty Fun is actually one of the people that's mentioned a lot. I did not hear about him or them. I don't know the genders. Until then, I saw the comments on the last Psychotic one. Yeah, this is a lot closer to Jane Remover, which feels safer for me for some reason, because like more melodic, it's like more things I can tackle. Mm. Mm. Who's pretty fun? I'm assuming it's like the female vocalist, maybe? Or is it, because I think Lucy is, I have no idea if I'm being honest. I'm pretty sure Lucy is AMAB, right? This is just so cool. Who's like the more feminine vocals? Yeah, I will say, I don't know if it's the fact that like it's a better aspect of Rage. I just feel like it's more familiar. I do like this more melodic style of it, and also interesting enough, this track feels melodic with me, with like its beautiful shimmers and the vocals being really pretty and that sort of thing. But at the core of it, like the beat is actually not that dissimilar to stuff that you see on AUSSIE Mason, right? Because I guess that is the Rage sound, but like it still has like grimy, the distorted, like lower. It doesn't have as much energy, but I feel like I'm okay with that because you have like the pretty vocals. You don't need energy if you have these like heavenly vocals on the track as well, right? Well, like AUSSIE Mason, it feels like he's trying to get, so it's like a bit of a grimy aspect of it. And on some of the tracks, because overall I actually think that project's pretty decent, but on some of the tracks, the lesser parts for me, the vocals aren't able to bring that same amount of energy. Well, I feel like Shay has that energy no matter what, right? On this, I don't think it needs that energy or like aggression sort of stuff. It can just have pretty vocals on the top, and the juxtaposition is actually really nice, like having this dark kind of bassy sort of beats with the production with the vocals on top being very pretty. It's just really nice juxtaposition and makes for incredible shit. Also, like thinking about it, yeah, like thinking about it being like a new genre and that sort of thing, it's interesting like seeing like who the figures are, and it makes sense that like Rage music, the same with the rock music, metal music, all of that came from just black art. And then you have like the people, I'm wondering, because this is like still underground, like rock at that point in time back in like the 40s, 50s was still underground, and the person who transcended it into fucking orbit, right, was Elvis Presley. Like that's my understanding of music history. I really hope we don't see the same thing, but it's probably going to happen. I really hope we don't see the same thing when it's like Rage music, where there's like fucking a Justin Bieber like character just comes in, does Rage music, and everyone's like, oh, we fucking love Rage. And it's just like, did you listen? Like Cardi was still massive. Like, did you listen to? There's even like certain songs on like DS2 that have a bit of a Rage beat to it. Did you listen to that? Like all this sort of stuff. I would hate for that to happen, but like obviously history repeats itself a billion times when it comes to rap and that sort of thing. Like no one gave a fuck about rap until like Vanilla Ice went on the mic for some reason. Like all that sort of stuff. I just really don't. I just pray that it doesn't happen to fucking Rage music, but I'm assuming it will. Yeah, it is really good, and I can see this again, like insane mass appeal. So. What bodes well for it, I guess, is like I don't know the white trap artists that like overtook the genre, if that makes sense. This shit's just great. It's actually so fucking great. There's a lot of more like Cardi influence in the vocals in this track, which is interesting. Just another consistently great to amazing fucking song. I can definitely see why this has like classic status on fucking album of the year. It's like, if the first 4 tracks are anything to see the rest of the album for, like, this is just consistently great to amazing music. Yeah, this shit's sick. I also like how, as I said, dynamic Rage is. Like, we're 5 tracks in, none of them have sounded that similar. Like, the beats are so diverse. This is pretty great. I think on the relations, like, I like the melodies, I like how catchy this is more, but it doesn't feel as like textured and layered as the other tracks. But I'm just enjoying myself. So this could go up in more just because it's like a more simple, effective song maybe. But the other ones I feel like I want to just, for now, just so I can place it when I listen to it later. But these last 3 tracks had so much texture and so many layers to it that it feels a bit more complex. So I want to give it a tiny bit more of an edge than this track. But this track is still pretty great. I like this. Is just sick. It's just good. This is fucking really nice to listen to. Also, you kind of know when an album is like underground is when they have like a shit ton of streams, like 4 million, but no lyric page, and it's a recent album. This has a fucking punch to it. Ooh. Mm. I'll need to re-listen, obviously, but like, at the moment, this is above the others. This has a fucking hit to it. Like, ooh. I love it. This feels like it has like more skill with the production. Like, it just feels so much more polished, but that just could be the fact that it's more melodic. But it feels so much more polished, and I really like that. I love this. Another incredible fucking song. Also, I'm sorry I'm yapping so much, but I actually just want to ask and learn a shit ton more. This scene is so interesting to me because at the top of it, right, you have Cardi. And Cardi is, when I think of like the pinnacle of like media that covers Cardi the most, right, and that has like the widest reach, is you have like Conciseness, right, who is like pretty openly transphobic and shit like that. And in my head, that instantly makes it, and then Cardi's like a wife beater and shit like that. So like I just assumed that there's like the worst aspects of like the stereotypes of like the black community being like homophobic and transphobic and that sort of thing. I thought that was like just kind of going to be a part of this rage music as well. Obviously it makes a bit less sense considering like Lil Uzi Vert's non-binary, but like at the top of it you have these figures. But the reason I was like talking about AMAB, that sort of thing, when I don't actually know Lucy whatsoever, is because when I looked up Lucy Bedroque right before I looked this up, they looked AMAB, and I was like, okay. And then I just realized then, and I looked up just then, oh, they're non-binary, and that's really cool. It's like that's really cool as well. And then there seems to, I've been shown that like a lot of people that like Cardi likes a lot in the underground scene, I can't remember the name of the person, but they're also trans, that sort of thing. And there seems to be like a massive openness, and like I guess like over-representation in rage music of like trans and queer identity. And and there doesn't seem to be that many spaces for that, and especially for black people, there doesn't seem to be many spaces for black trans identity, and it feels like rage seems like a safe space for that, which I found really interesting because from the onset that I said, Cardi and like Conciseness and all of that sort of stuff kind of just felt like that wouldn't be the safe space. So I'm just like wondering, how did that come about? Like, and why did it come about, I guess. I'm just very curious about that, because I find that to be a very cool underpinning, is that, like, you have Underscores, who I'm pretty sure is part of the trans community. You have Jane Remover, who is non-binary. You have Lucy Bedroque, that's non-binary. You have, like, all of these figures. And then when you go to, like, hyperpop and stuff like that, and you have, like, this sort of thing, I think that, like, Sophie, I haven't listened to any Sophie, but Sophie was trans. There's, like, a strong undercurrent of queer community within this field, which I would have expected to be a bit more, I guess, like, antagonistic towards it. Yeah, I just find it very interesting, and I find it very cool. And I'm just wondering about it. I really like that there's this space, especially for, like, black AMABs to be able to express themselves in this way, because it feels like they even can find more than, like, the normal guys, if that makes sense, to be a specific type of masculine. So it's really cool that this is, like, another explosion of it, of, like, identity that can happen. Oh, this is really nice. This is so good. A lot of these songs I'm giving like 8.5s can go up in the future. Like, they're just really catchy, beautifully constructed production. Just everything's incredible, man. Yeah, it's just, the music's fucking fire. Like, it's just so sick. Ooh. More of a traditional sound, I feel. I like the melodies and like the sound of the vocals, but I don't know how I feel about how like unintelligible it is, and like I don't know. I still like it. Alright, I'll give it an 8. That's pretty good. I like it. Fuck, it's been really nice to listen to a bunch of Reg music. It's been really nice. I'm very appreciative of you guys, because it's just like consistently pretty fucking good stuff. And completely new. So like an 8 out of 10 out of something that feels new feels so much more fulfilling than like an 8.5 or a 9 out of something that feels familiar. I like a lot of ideas with the beat here, but I'm not sold on the track just yet as much as the other ones. Like if I focus on the beat, I like the beat. If I focus on the vocals, I kind of like the vocals a bit, but when I think of it as like a full sound, it feels like less than some of its parts a bit. But now, this could change. I'll give it a like 7.5, a tepid. I know it's good. I know it's good. But I don't know if it's great to me just yet, so it's in the borderline. I need to be sold on it a bit more. I think maybe re-listens will do that. There's a lot of elements I just like even if it doesn't connect with me. Oh. Fuck, this is good. Oh, I liked that fucking stop start. Could this be a 9? It might. It's pretty amazing. I'll give it. I'll be like, I don't know. Do I like it more than the other tracks? It's hard because I feel like I liked all of the other tracks a lot more, and I might have been underrating them. It's just this is so nice. I love it. I like the more higher pitched elements. It's cool. I like when it feels like it's like fucking stabbing me, like an amp is being creaked a bit, like that sort of key or whatever. All right, this sounds like a bit more music, like. More classical musical. Oh, I love their vocals, dude. I love their vocals so much. incredible. The globalization of like influences in this is so nice. Like I'm getting a bit of like anime-ish vibes, and being able to meld that with like a lot of like queer aesthetic and a lot of like rage being like stemming from like black culture. Like the idea of like Asian, queer, black influences all melding together into like this gorgeous music that feels like incredibly dynamic, that has so many layers, is like a really cool fucking thing. Like it's like, damn, music's fucking sick, right? It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. Ooh, I'm loving this. This is like, it's probably gonna land on my top albums of the year list. I've done like 130 albums or something. I would say this is like in the upper like 30%, sure, 20%, if not higher. Ooh, that switch is sick. I like this project feels like it makes sense why this one has like the highest rating, right? It just like doesn't have bloat. It kind of is Slayer in that aspect. Like Slayer was like a very concise record. Well, this feels like a really concise record. It's not really bloat. Everything feels like it has like a polished attention to detail of like a fucking AAA studio. But like that without sterilizing the music or anything, it just feels like there's a lot of time and care put into this project, and I can see why this one is like a higher rated one. It's sick. Damn, we only have like 9 minutes left. What the fuck? Wait. Yeah, like 9.5 minutes left. What the fuck? I fucking love this. At least a 9, at least. It's just so sick. It feels so nostalgic. Like, I think because it's grabbing from a lot of, like, those 2000s things that I spoke about at the start of the video, like, it just feels so nostalgic and I just adore it. I think this is a step above. It's just absolutely fucking sick. I'm not even I'm sorry for not talking, but it's just like I love every single one of these songs. This is the best one, I think. But like I could re-listen to this album and I think find like 20 different favorites. It's just so great. Incredible. It's like the music I'm most excited for, I feel. Like when it comes to, like it might not be like #1 or anything. Like it feels like this is like the type of music that I'm most excited for to see in the future. Like how does it develop? Like what's the next project going to be like with AUSSIE Mason? And what's the next project from January? Lucy Bedroque. All that. It's like it's gonna be my more anticipated music for like next year's and stuff. Ooh. This is gorgeous. All these ratings are fucking inaccurate. Because I don't think Cat's Eye is better than all the other ones. I don't know. They're all amazing. All the tracks are amazing. I like that this is more like stripped back. I like those moments to breathe in this project a bit. Despite the fact that like the maximalist approach that like Rage provides doesn't necessarily feel as grating, or like, not grating, but like, it doesn't take as much effort to handle on this album than other ones. But there are like these smaller moments to just breathe a bit, which is cool. Just really great. This is a fucking consistent project. Like, I already know now that this track is going to be on the same level. So, like, this project is unbelievably consistent. Like, 17 tracks and have that level of consistency is incredible. I actually think this one might be a bit lower, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like less cohesive or something. I don't know if it's a 7.5 or an 8. I'll give it like a... I'll give it a 7 for now, actually. It's like pretty, but it doesn't wow me, you know? As I said in like previous reactions related to Rage music and stuff like that, one of the things that like is incredibly good about Rage music is the fact that like it has a shorter length per song, and they have a lot more songs. So like when a song doesn't hit as hard, like this one is, I still think it's good, so it's not like a good, like a glaring example of this. Like when a song doesn't hit as hard, it truly doesn't feel like it matters for the record, because it's like you have it's like listening to an MF Doom project, right? Like you have 18 songs, the fucking album's 40 minutes, and like one of the 1.5 minute songs doesn't hit. It's like, okay, it's like a 1.5 minutes, that's easy to deal with. Where like if you had like a Tool album with 10-minute tracks everywhere and one of them was dog shit, then it's like, holy fuck, that makes the album a lot worse. But like, yeah, this 7 doesn't even impact me mentally compared to the other ones. Like, oh, like usually if this was like another album, like if it was I don't know, if I had like a string of 7s in the middle, I guess I can like Blurry Face from 21 Pilots I recently did, which is going to be uploaded soon. Like I had a decent, like the first few tracks I was like, oh, these are pretty fucking great, and then like it just had like middling tracks, and then it kind of soured the album a bit. Well, like that just can't happen on a Rage project, because if you just have a higher hit ratio, then it's like, who gives a fuck? The tracks that are like you might like a bit less are a minute long. But yeah, overall, thank you for the suggestions on this album. Like easily one of my top Rage projects. It's hard because like I feels like I need to differentiate between like melodic Rage and not melodic Rage, because I think Rest in Bass is the best non-melodic Rage, but like melodic Rage would probably be Slayer at the moment. And then like maybe this one. It's a really good project. The production was fucking stellar. The vocals are really sick. All of the tracks feel very different and unique. It made the entire album feel fresh. When it's one of the longer projects in Rage, so like usually they're like around this time, like they're like 20 to 50 minutes. On the longer, this is on the longer end for it, but it felt incredibly easy to listen to the point where like I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reacting to 3 albums today, because usually I allot 1 to 2. With Rage, I allot 2. For normal albums, I allot 1. But with this one, it's just so easy and nice to listen to that I'm going to allot 3. I'm going to do this one. I'm doing Rascal 51. And then I think I'll do Revenge Seekers, actually. I think I'll just pump all 3 of them out. But yeah. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to support some more, you can go to my Patreon. You don't have to support, like, watching this, just more than enough. But it's $5 a month. You get to have an album request every month. And you get early access to like 150 albums that you haven't seen. Like, for example, a whole lot of Red is on there, Die Lit is on there, all that sort of stuff for months. I'm going to post them to YouTube soon, but yeah, all the stuff is there for months ahead of time. The only ones that aren't super early access are albums from like 2025, because I try and get them out as quickly as possible because of relevancy and recency. But if it's like an album from like 5 years ago, it could be up there for fucking 9 months before I post it to YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely love and adore you. Peace.